squishy. It's the fourth go of saying hello. Hello. Let's just get straight into it. The light is a bit bright, it's making me a bit squinty. I have finished my Ranunculus. I don't even recall whether I had cast it on or was just talking about it when I did my last traditional sort of style podcasty chat with you guys. I'm just going to show you it. Here it is. Sorry about the squeaky chair. Oh, this camera's dreadful. In real life, this is so soft and fluffy and beautiful, and in the camera, it's looking stark and harsh. Come back, old phone that was playing me up. All is forgiven. What a shame it's not looking so beautiful. As usual, I've got some mistakes. Do you want to see them? I'm going to show you anyway. I do not like the cast on the neck. Oh, my chair. I did the recommended cast on. I would just do a normal long tail next time. It might not have helped that the yarn was quite sticky, so it was a bit of a wrestle. Also, I don't know what happened there, but that's where I wove my tail in, and something. I was talking to my friend Jo at Flock when I did that. Jo Pickle Lily, hello darling, you're not feeling very well. So I wasn't concentrating properly. I am very happy with, although it doesn't look so good here, I learned how to do an Italian sewn bind off. I don't know how it differs to tubular or whatever. Anyway, I was watching somebody and they recommended it, and it became quite an addictive motion to do. And I think on a less open structure, what is that? Have I just spotted another error there? No, it's just inconsistencies of my knitting. I think it would look better on a less open construction. This was knitted on quite large needles, the recommended size, and with it being, it was silk merino, something like that. I got it yonks ago from Amy, Taylor S Studios, in the Maybe Baby colourway, and I knitted a whole boxy that I never wore. Then I cut the sleeves off the boxy thinking I'll wear it more, but I didn't. So I unravelled it, and now it has become this. And I've probably still got enough left to do another one. And I paired it with some mohair, which is why there's a lovely fluff. But big needles, mohair, I was very inconsistent. Look at that. That is just, it's not a drop stitch or anything, that's just a big one. I'll fiddle with that and fix that. I shall wear this throughout February, so if I do daily vlogs through February, you'll see it. I am considering daily vlogs. Now, I can't remember if I said that on this introduction or one of the deleted ones, but I'm considering doing the February files, in which case this will be day one. Or I might not do February files, in which case this is just a podcast. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I want to do it, but at the same time, my life, I love it. But I don't have lots of new things happening all the time. I cook the same stuff, I do the same walk, I go to the same places. But there are a few things happening in February that will be nice. Anyway, the Ranunculus. Did I tell you it was a Ranunculus? It's that one that's been knitted, or there's over 10,000 projects on Ravelry. It's a one size fits all. You would adjust your sizing by changing your yarn and your needles. I'm going to see if this will be a thumbnail. Thumbnail, cheese. So size inclusivity, I can't speak to that really because I've only knitted one. I haven't changed needle sizes or yarn or anything, but I can imagine if you went for a super chunky and knitted it on bigger needles, you'd end up with a neck that was this wide and an armpit that long, so that won't work. But even so, there are all types of variations and different yarns and different shapes and sizes of people wearing this, or where people have just taken the pattern and they've inserted it into another round yoked jumper. So it's a flexible knit and it's lovely on. I like it a lot. I really love the cuff, which is this I-cord cast off. I've just started faltering because I've remembered that I haven't brought something in that I would like to show you right now, because it links in. The cuffs just reminded me. One moment. Gosh, that was lucky for two reasons. Number one, I'd forgotten that I'd left my chicken stock simmering and had to turn it off. And two, I couldn't find, it's a hat, it's the beret, you know, do you remember the boob I was knitting last time? I couldn't find it, and then I thought, well, I had it on the school run last night and I remember taking it off in the car. It must be in my car. No, I'd obviously laid it on my lap, forgotten about it, got out the car and it dropped onto the driveway. I had not noticed, but luckily it did not rain. It does feel a bit damp though. Anyway, I got this. Where's the end? The back, tiny little seam at the back. So it's the Biz, or I don't know how you say it, Biz beret. And I knitted it with some yarn that Amy, Taylor Studios, who I got this from, this yarn, gave me for Christmas. Julie Aslin. I'm just thinking if I've got the tag for it. I want to say it's the Julie Aslin Nurtured, but I can't remember. If I'm wrong, I'll pop it on the screen. And this is how it looks. I really, really love it. Like, super love it. Want one in every single colour. Margot, stop digging. Just lie down. Lie down. The dog's in here making all sorts of noises. So what with them in the chair and the bright lights, it's professional around here. So with this, I followed the pattern. Ah, there was a leaf in it. Lovely. I followed the pattern, did exactly as I was told, aside from, and I mentioned this last time, along here you have to do the make ones every row, and I found it quite difficult to make one when I just the row before made one. It made it a bit too tight, so I did a few yarn overs instead, and then converted to the make ones when they were spaced out a bit more. And then at this point here, there, from that decrease, you're supposed to do, I can't remember, 9 rows of stockinette, and I was playing yarn chicken. I literally have probably 3 meters left of this, and so I could only do, what did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 5 before starting the I-cord bind off, cast off, and actually I think that worked out for the better, because any longer and it would have come down to here, it would have been more poofy here, and I love it. I love how it sits. You can even properly Ah, bonjour. Avez-vous tous ces dents? Vous avez besoin? Oui? I'm not actually sure what I just said. I think I asked, have you got everything you need? Don't know where that's come from in my head. And I'm about to cast on another one of these imminently. I'm going to do a gauge swatch to try and get the exact same gauge as this with this yarn, which is from Deepest Darkest Stash. Quite a terrifying colour. It's my mum's birthday on Sunday, and when she came around last, I showed her this hat. She put it on her head and did not take it off, and she looked adorable in it. The only thing was, she's got beautiful silvery hair, beautiful grey eyes, and she just ended up looking like a new potato, a boiled new potato, because all the colours blended into one another. So she said she wanted it in red. Deep Stash to the rescue. But this is a 50 gram and it's a DK, and there's 105 meters. Whereas this was 55 grams and 115 meters. I can't remember, but anyway, they don't match. So I'm just going to have to do a gauge swatch, but that's okay. It's fine. Or I'll just, she says at some point, if you want a bigger hat, do more rows here. So I could do that until I get to this sort of thing. And then after the decrease, I could do some more stockinette. That's what I'll do. It'll save me having to do a gauge swatch, because I don't really love doing gauge swatches, because I can do a gauge swatch and it's never how the actual thing ends up knitting up in reality. It's very annoying. So there's the two finished things. I have a third finished thing to show you. Here it is. I'm going to jump around a bit, I know, but we don't care, do we? Settle down, Bunny. Here comes Bunny. It's because it's got to that time of day where she thinks you should be having a cup of tea and a biscuit. Come on then. Oh, here comes Margot as well now. Oh, hi, Margs. Margot's been to the groomers. She looks horrific. Here we are. Oh, crazy dog lady. Hello, girls. Should we have a minute? Bunny loves to tuck her head in like that. She's always done it. Ever since we got her 2.5 years ago. My little Spanish street dog. And you, my little pampered pooch with no manners. Pooh. Margot had her teeth scoured and polished before Christmas. Normally by now her teeth would be placking up again really badly, but I've been using this seaweed stuff on wet food called Plaque Off, and it's brilliant. And she seems to prefer the wet food. She's eating much better than normal. Right, girls, I've got stuff to do. Go on then. Go on. Go on. Well done. I've got Bill home today. Faking a headache, I think. Forgot where I was for a bit. We were moving on to finished things. There's a story behind these. So the wool is this self-striping, and it's lovely. I love it, really love it, and my mum really loved it, and she dropped so many hints that she loved it that I thought, right, I will, since I'd knitted one of these as a sock tube, I will get the sock ruler thingy and measure where to put the heel in for a size 5 foot. I measured once, twice, 3 times I measured, and I put the heel in, And I was so pleased with the sock, and I thought to myself, oh, how pleasing. It's practically the same length as the cuff. I love it when that happens. And then I thought, looks a bit big. Looks like it would fit me, which indeed it did. And I'm a size 6.5, 7. This was at the end of November. So I thought I'll go on and see if I could do a... Dog's barking to go out. I'll go on and see if she's selling any more. This is the company. And it's called Season 2 Friends Yarn Club, You're My Lobster. I've just got to let Margot out. Oh, we're never going to get through it today. We're never going to get through this today. Yeah, so it's called You're My Lobster, and part of it here we've got 2 different colours, a minty green and a pale grey. It's ever so pretty yarn, and I really love it. In fact, it makes my skirt fly up. I love it so much. So I went online to do a pre-order on the 26th of November, thinking it's hand dyed, and usually the lady says it's a 2-week wait. So I thought, well, let's factor Christmas busyness and what have you. I still think I'll get it, I don't know, 3rd week of December or something, so that I could give that to my mum as a gift instead. But it didn't arrive until the 2nd week of January. So my poor mum didn't have a proper Christmas present until 2nd week in January. So I had all the thought, but now she's got the pleasure of knitting it up, and it is lovely yarn, and it is worth the wait. But I would just say that if you are going to be knitting to a deadline, be really organised, because hand-dyed yarn doesn't just... There are some companies that can turn it around super fast, but self-striping is a different kettle of fish altogether, and yeah, it just didn't work out this time. And I don't know, I wasn't even sure at one point if it had been forgotten about, but it arrived and it's fine. And I teamed it up with this glorious, I absolutely love the colour of this. My friend's son has this hair colour, naturally has this hair colour. She's got COVID as well at the moment. There's an awful lot of it around. So this is Mr. B's yarn, now Bird Street yarn. And this one is called Old Number 7 on their 4-ply sock yarn. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of that tiger's eye jumper that I made, but it's not got the breakthrough red sort of speckles on it. Absolutely love that. There, so now I've shown you those, I can finish them, and I've weighed these, and I do have enough to do another almost full length pair if I do heels, toes and cuffs in this. But I actually fancy a full pair of socks with texture out of that. So that could be something else. I could find a different mini, couldn't I? Oh, Bunny, stop licking. You're making a nasty noise in the back. She's looking at me funny now. I've had some amazing customer service as well lately. Let me tell you about this. I found the label for that Julie Aslin yarn. I was almost right. I guessed, well, I said 55 grams, didn't I? 56 grams, 118 metres, and I said 115. So that was quite good off the top of my head. Now, I wanted to get, so that I could try on my Ranunculus. Oh, where have you gone? Ha, looking in the wrong place. I wanted to try on my Ranunculus, and my cable was busy with my half and half wrap, which I'll show you in a minute. So I decided that it was a good time to order some of these, the Knitting Barber cords, which are weird. You stuff them, this disgusting smell of really revolting, like a petrol. So you poke the end of your needle in there, and this stretches a bit. If you're going on to quite a fat needle, anything above a 6, excuse me, anything above a 6, I don't know, but I just warmed it up a bit. I won't tell you how I warmed it up. I will. I sucked it. Okay. Yeah, lovely petrol taste. I just wanted to warm it up a bit so that it wouldn't split, because it had split a bit when I tried to get it on. So I cut the end off, warmed it up, gently squeezed it onto the end, onto the tip of my needle, and I was able to try on my Ranunculus because I wanted to make sure it was a good length. So in ordering these, I also ordered the size 3mm Chalgoo tips. Chalgoos and red lace Chalgoos are my favourites. So I've got the set, but the set doesn't come with a 3mm needle. So I ordered some, but they were too small ages ago. So this time I thought, right, I'll order some more from the same company that I got these from, which is the Uncommon Thread. Never ordered from them before. Their service, their delivery was quick as anything, but sadly, can you see, these needles arrived bent. And I thought, oh, that's all right, it'll be fine. I've knit with bent needles loads of times. But that's when I was knitting straight. Now with these, when you put them on the cables and you're knitting, say if you're doing a magic loop, what happened was, because there was a bend, it naturally kept wanting to flip round to be in the shape, ergonomic shape of my hands, and it would unscrew at the end of the lace. So I tried to bend them back, and it's just not something that you can do accurately, and I didn't want to snap them. So I sent a message through the Uncommon Threads contact me page, and the next day I had an email saying, so sorry, there's a new set out to you in the post. Please feel free to keep those as desperate spares or whatever. I sent a message back saying, do you not want to see a photo of them or as proof, and do you not want me to send them back? And they said, no, we're just so sorry that they've arrived damaged. The very next day again, so 48 hours later after ordering the originals, they sent out these totally straight, perfect ones with a note saying, please let us know if these arrive bent. And they were so well packaged. Faultless, absolutely faultless. And they sell loads of lovely things on that website. Oh, I've not put those away. So that's a recommendation from me. That concludes my finished items. Next up, I'm doing a test knit for Amy again. It's the Amy show. It was last time as well. She's brought out a new sweater pattern. She's not brought it out yet, it's still in testing, but some of the test knitters are way further ahead than me, and I know that I'm not the only one doing my size. And I think that she pretty much let me do her test knit because I'm her friend and she couldn't say no. And also she had sent me this beautiful yarn ages and ages ago, just because she said, oh, I've got this new yarn, it's nylon free, I think you'll like it. It's your colours. And she just sent me 3 skeins. One of the perks of having a really great friend who has a yarn dyeing business. And then this floof, Kelly, my another friend, Kelly Lay Family Yarns, she gave me this yonks ago. I was going to knit a sparkly, wintry wrap, and then I went off the idea. But paired together, it's blowing out. I always hold things on my head. I think I would rather like some ears. Lindsay from the Wooden Nest knitted her little girl almost like a balaclava, but it's not covering her face, but it's got little ears on it and kind of, no, she hasn't put the ears on it. You can put ears on it, but it's got this like little pixie thing. I've actually got a pattern and the yarn out already for a similar looking one, but it's not half as cute, so I think I might do the one that Lindsay's knitted for her daughter. And do you know, an alarm went off. I might put some ears on it. This light's gone even weirder now. I don't look like this either. I'm looking all soft focus, and it's very grey and blue out there. Sun's going in and out of the clouds. We're just going to have to go with it. You don't care, do you? I don't care. Anyway, this is seashells. I think it's Kaya's seashells from Where the Crawdads Sing. Oh, the only problem I have with floof, this stuff, I don't find it itchy at all, but it always goes in my eyes. I breathe it in sometimes, but mostly it just goes in my eyes. I've just cut that bit out because I was poking around in my eye, and some people they're a bit squeamish, aren't they, about people touching the sclera of their eye. I'll show you what I've done so far. I've done this. Oh, I love it when my knitting makes me feel really brainy, but the truth is, this is so intuitive. I haven't used a single stitch marker here, apart from beginning of the round, because you just know exactly what you've got to do. You've got the charts there and you can see exactly what you're meant to do and where you're meant to do it. It's absolutely beautiful. Amy really does write a good pattern. She holds your hand. She's got written charts and she's got written instructions and charts. I prefer a chart. I would show you, but it's a paid for pattern. I prefer a chart because I like to see where I am. But yes, there's 4 charts for the yoke, and I've done 1.5 charts, whereas some people have split for the sleeves and they're zooming down the body now. But I've also got this hat to do, so there's no deadline, but I don't think that I'm going to be much use as a test knitter. But I'll be very good as a shower, offerer and a wearer of said sweater. The Clarendon sweater, or just Clarendon sweater, hashtag. Right, so I think that's it in this basket to show you. I do believe that is it. Oh, here's that's the tiny little nugget that was left from that hat. This hat. Really good job. I'm really good job. I'm doing a really good job. Next work in progress, which is a sweater, a jumper that I've put on pause because I needed the needles for my ranunculus. But now that my ranunculus is completed, I can put the needles back on. That's that floof. I can literally see it flying everywhere. Oops. Professional. This is my Posie jumper by Melody Hoffman, B Mandarine. I've got to the point now where I've divided for the sleeves, sleeves. There, I don't know what I'm showing you, proof. And clean sheep. I love that smell. It literally does smell like a soapy sheep. There, so that's as far as I am. There's a few mistakes in this. I think I did a few rounds extra of 1 or 2 things, but yes, bunny. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Nobody would know. Really love this colour. It's a very nice silvery beige. And I would say that this yarn, same as the Plotulopi, no, this is Plotulopi, the Letlopi, I'd say the Letlopi is itchier, but they're both rough. Now, rough, I can handle rough. Itchy, I struggle with a bit. It's not itching yet. Very warm. I like it. I like it a lot. And I've knitted all of this. I have 2 plates. I've unravelled a bit. I can't remember why. So I've got 2 plates. That's what I've got left of both of those plates. But I've got all of this knitting from, I would say, just over a whole one of these plates. So I wouldn't be surprised if I had loads left over, which can happen. And Melody's got out a stash busting, Plotulopi stash busting hat and socks and mittens. She's got your back covered. I am looking forward to getting that finished, and that will be a bit of a priority once I've finished my test knit and my mum's hat, because the weather will be getting warm soon. Spring is on its way. It's already getting lighter. I'm not thrilled about that. I prefer the winter. Garden is waking up, which this year doesn't give me such a heavy heart. I feel I'm at the point in the garden where it's tinker time now. I don't have anything major to do. I mean, there is major work to be done, but it can wait. Next work in progress. I don't know how many minutes I've been chatting for now because I've had to keep stopping and starting. Is in this lovely little basket from Wovenology. It's actually really dinky. Look, there's the basket and there's my head. Oh, I feel like I ought to be going down to the water. I will fish the water. How's that song going? Jungle Book. I will go and fish the water. Do 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 do. La 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 la. La 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 la. Are your ears bleeding? Mum got me this for my birthday and she said I could have it now. And I have bought my mum one for her birthday. And I said, well, you can have it now. She went, no, I'll wait. I'll wait for mine. I'll go and get it so I can show you. Pixie here. There. Mum's is bigger. These are both called small baskets though. You can see my mum's is much, much bigger. From a company called Wovenology. I don't have a discount code for you or anything like that, but they support women workers in, I believe, Ghana. And there's no, oh, what are all the words? Fair trade, fairly treated, paid a living wage. They're some of my favourite things. I've got another massive one and I've got this one here. I got this one from the Botanical Candle Company, which is one of my favouriteest companies in the world. So in here, I have got my half and half wrap. I noticed on Saturday I've got a, oh look, I'm in the middle of a row. I've got a bit of a, my cable's damaged. You won't be able to see that. It's like it's been caught in a door. It's like it might have been melted. Maybe a bit of a match landed on it. Maybe a dog bit it. I don't know. But if anyone's got any ideas of what I could do to try and rescue that. It's my longest cable. I might just have to buy another one. But it seems such a shame because the rest of it is perfect. I'm wondering if I could kind of melt it and smooth it down a bit. Anyway, in here I've got my half and half wrap. This ball's a mess because Bunny ran off with it. So my half and half wrap is this mustard colour, Merino Yak. It's a Regia, and I got it from No Frills Knitting, which is quite a local yarn shop to me. And I think this is it's a sock yarn as well, this one. So if I've got anything left over when I finished it, it's going to be a tealy navy and a mustard. I'm doing the biggest size. I can make socks. I've just sorted through all of my yarn, all of my yarn stash. I'll pop some pictures in. Oh, I got myself in such a muddle, such a mess. But I've managed to put together, dog's barking, I've managed to put together everything that is for jumpers, socks, all my single skeins. I've weighed out and labelled all of my leftovers so I know what I've got and what they could be. I've given away some of my yarn to my friend's mother-in-law to knit baby things with. So I'm feeling completely in control of my yarn situation now and really excited about everything that I want to knit. So I actually feel like for the first time in saying this, I'm not buying any more yarn unless it is to go with what I've got to make something very specific I have in mind. I feel like it's something that I can actually achieve, which is wonderful. But let's see, talk to me on Thursday, because Bex and Claire and I are going to go into No Frills Knitting, have a little mooch, and then go and get a bite to eat somewhere. Or get a bite to eat somewhere and then go to No Frills Knitting. The next thing I'm enjoying knitting on, I'm not going to say working on, because it's not work, is it? And I'm not going to say I'm knitting on it, because I'm not sat on it knitting it. I love the English language. I do love it, and I love all the nuances. But some of the things that we all say these days, they don't make sense to me. Like gifted. To me, that's somebody with exceptional talent. It's not a present you've received from somebody. That's a gift that you've been given, or a present. You haven't been gifted it. But the English language is always changing and always evolving. I mean, we don't speak like we used to when Shakespeare was writing, do we? So I find it fascinating. Next thing I am not working on, I'm playing at, is Toby's socks. He started knitting some socks. Yes, Toby knitted some socks, or started knitting some socks. I did the cuff for him, and then he did about this much knitting. He was doing magic loop. He was doing very well. But he gave up and has not touched it, not picked up his knitting in his knitting bag for over a year. So I got to the stage where I thought, I want that yarn. I like that colour. I want the socks. I've got the pattern sat already in my library. It's the sixpence, I think, sixpence socks by Olivia, This Handmade Life. So I unravelled back to the cuff that I'd knitted, and they're going to be my mindless knit, my travelling mindless knit. My true mindless knit is my half and half wrap, but my travelling mindless knit will be these socks. So we'll get them done, and then when those needles are free, I will be knitting this. This is, maybe it's a Bird Street Yarn podcast as well as an Amy Taylor S studio. This is called Pebbles on a Beach. It's absolutely exquisite. Bird Street Yarn, 4-ply. I can't wait to cast these on. These are just going to be plain socks. Oh, the dog Okay. Right, I'm rushing now because I feel like this is going on a bit too much, but I have 2 more things that I want to show you if you can bear to stick around any longer. Another pair of socks. Get ready. This is a terrifying colour. It's blowing out a bit. These 2 skeins are 4-ply sock yarn from Lay Family Yarn. Just chucks it on the floor, now it's unravelling. This yarn bath. I need a new ball winder. Mine is very cheap and really rubbish. I mean, it does the job, but not great. I've got my eye on one for my birthday. I'm going to put it on my birthday Pinterest wish list and hope that Toby spots it. Dear, this could be a problem. This colourway is a special colourway that Kelly made, not last Advent, but the Advent before. It's called Bill's Special Bus because, as you know, Kelly has been an enormous supporter of my fundraising. Do you know what? I almost forgot that I want to, in this podcast, announce my next raffle, which is Kelly yet again. Anyway, Kelly dyed up, she had 3 of these full skeins dyed up with a view to giving them to me to knit something for Bill. So I've skeined up 2 of them. He wants some chunky bed socks. So I'm going to knit some that have got stockinette, toe and foot and leg, but then the heel, not just the heel, but all the way around for about this much is going to be in rib because of his difficulties. I think that will just make it much easier for him to put on a woolly sock that he's not familiar with the feeling of. And also if he grows, which they think they've stunted his growth because of COVID, they've been managing his growth because of his genetic condition with testosterone injections, and because of COVID they think they got the dose wrong and they think that they've stunted his growth, which is not a big deal. He's taller than me, and physically boys with his genetic condition, if they are extremely tall, which is the norm for them, it can be very physically difficult. So to be shorter and slighter might actually be of benefit. So I'm not upset and he doesn't care. So these are going to be socks that will grow with him or not. And I'm going to knit him a big chunky hat as well. Possibly going to knit him one that goes all the way over his head and around his neck. But we will see. We'll see how much yarn I've got. But I can always pair it with something else. I have plenty. I don't know when I'll get to do those. I was going to do them for Christmas, but it's a bit like when you make a list of things to achieve for the day and you get to the end of the day and you've been busy all day and you've only ticked 3 things off your list and you've got 15 on there. I'm a bit like that with my projects, things that I want to knit. Last intended project is going to be knitted in this beautiful yarn. It's so beautiful. I've done some additional video to overlay here so that you can see what the yarn is. It's by Heather and Hops, and it's Jacobs, 50% Jacobs and 50% Valace Black Nose. It's rough, very rough. I mean, rough like string rough. It's not itchy. I actually find Kid Silk Haze more itchy. This is not itchy, this is just rough. I'm going to knit a tank top, which you might call a vest in other parts of the world, or a slip over. I've seen quite a few tank tops, and I got to try on Emma's from Eldenwood Craft on Saturday when I saw her. Hello Emma, if you're watching. And I could have ran off with it. It was stunning. It's so soft. I think she knitted it with a strand of Mo and a strand of Isaiah or Isager. Oh, that dog. As I was saying, her tank top was the Petite Knits slip over. I can't remember whether it was Stockholm or Oslo or something else. The armpits were very low down, but I think you can adjust that. So I might knit that one because the neckline was lovely. Most of the other patterns I've seen, the neckline comes up to about here, and I wanted it to be not as high, not as low, more like to there. And I've got a couple of patterns earmarked. I was fiddling with my ear as I said earmarked. And I think that because obviously a garment like that will always be worn over something, over a dress or something with some kind of sleevage, that this is going to be perfect. Did I say it's the yarn from Heather and Hops? It wasn't a crowdfunder. I can't remember how it was. I think I bought it through Ko-fi. She's got a Ko-fi account. And no, I just like it. I like what she's doing. Off the back of her doing this, having her own yarn processed, I got wind of a couple of baby first shears of a Valace sheep, friend of a friend of a friend. So through them, I got this message to the owner of the sheep saying, can I please have your fleece? She said, yes, you can. I said, how much do you want for it? She was like, I'll pay you to take it. She didn't want it. So it's been sat in a bag, and I've contacted 2 different mills. One of them said I didn't have enough for them to process. One of them said that they wouldn't process it because of it. They didn't recommend Valace. I said I'd like to blend it 50-50 with Jacobs because I've got some yarn and it's fine. And she seemed to think that that couldn't be true. But she did point me in the direction of another mill that might be able to do it. So I then thought to myself, right, how hard can it be to do this yourself? Well, it's very hard. So I decided I'm not doing it myself. So I did a bit of digging around this third mill that was up north of me. And I got to the point where I thought, I'm going to have to water down this fleece considerably because I need to skirt it. I think they call it skirting. I was going to have to go through it all, pick it and get all the nasty bits off. And then in order to have enough fleece for them to work with, I was going to have to get hold of some more. So I spoke to my neighbour down the road. He keeps Jacob's sheep, and he said, I've got 3 years worth of fleece you can have. But the more I researched it, the more it seems that you have to be really careful if you're shearing a sheep for the fleece in order to have it scoured and then produce yarn from it. You have to raise them in a certain way and have different hygiene practices or different clipping practices or whatever it is. To cut a long story short, it's not going to happen. My Valace fleeces have not been stored correctly, sheared correct. They haven't been sheared and skirted before being rolled up. So a lot of the wool is contaminated now, and it's been sat for too long, so it started to degrade because it was dirty, and it's just not going to work. So I'm going to use it as mulch in my garden instead, and rather than doing my own yarn where I would probably end up with 50 skeins of something like this, which is too much for any single person. I will therefore purchase it from Cat, Heather and Hops. And that is me done. Was that an awful, awful podcast? Or did it go all right? You just never know. When you press stop on the camera, and when I think back to what I've said, I think, did I sound dreary? Did I smile, or did I drone on and on and on like this? You just don't know until you edit it. Nearly forgot, didn't I? I nearly forgot. One moment, please. I know some of you have been waiting for this because you've asked me if you've missed it. You haven't missed it. It's coming up now. This is an enormous bag by Emma, Eldenwood Craft, who I told you about earlier. This is one of her most coveted bags. Pre-orders go out and they're gone in no time, and yeah, they're not easy to get hold of. And inside is every single skein from the Rainbow Chronicles, which was a knit-along that Kelly from Lay Family Yarn and Jules from So Sweet Violet, I always want to say violent, and she's the least violent person you could ever meet. It was their knit-along that they did. So in here we have got, what did I say it was? There were 5 skeins per month. So what are 5 12s? 60. Is that right? I think so. There's 60 skeins of yarn in there. You could knit a rainbow. You could knit a lovely rainbow blanket. Just follow the hashtag on Instagram. You could do socks. Loads of stuff you could do. Oh gosh, it's so nice. And it comes with that lavender bag. It's really strong. Gosh, there's loads. I don't want to get them all out because I'll mess them all up. But, oh, those tickle my pickle. October. And oh, I don't want to mess this up. Oh, look at that one. Love that. Oh, they're just so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I don't want to get them all out. What's this one? September. Oh. Whoa. Whoever wins this is going to be lucky. I was also given, so not only this bag, this lavender pouch and 60 skeins of 20-gram minis. I mean, this is a big gift. My friend Ali gave me 2 of these, one to keep. Ali doesn't have any social media presence at all. But many of us know and love Ali because she reaches out to us and treats us with so much kindness. We love you, Ali. She gave me 2 of these, one to give away or raffle and one to keep. So I thought, what better? I know this isn't traditionally the yarn that you would do colourway work with because it's superwash and it's not sticky, but it is doable. If you've watched Dan from the Bakery Bears recently, he has just finished a Sweetheart cowl. I believe that was superwash, and he's just started some mittens with superwash and the colour works fine. And he says he's not advanced in colour work. He's pretty experienced now, but I do trust him when he says it's fine, you can do it. So I'm throwing this in to the mix, into the raffle prize. I love that hat. I'll show you the ones I love in here. It's a lovely book. Look at it. Look at that. I love that one. That would knit up a treat in this yarn. Also, Barbara from Knitting I Love, she's got a hat full of minis, which Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful has done. That's gorgeous. Try not to show you the charts. Don't want to get into trouble. Look at that one. That's quite a traditional one there. Oh, that one, that traditional one. How fab is the crown on that? Look at my chair. One with flowers. Some of them I don't like. But you can actually see Bill wearing something like that. So there we are. By the time you watch this, I will have a page open, probably with Just Giving, because it makes the accounting very easy. It will be linked below. The raffle will be £1 a ticket, and everything raised will go towards will go to Bill's school, very underfunded special needs school. So this is going to be the last raffle for a while. So if you were holding off thinking, oh, I want to support the school, I'll do that in a minute, I'll do that in a minute. Now is your minute. And this is such a bumper. I mean, 60 skeins of minis is a lot. Just do the maths. Plus a beautiful colour workbook, plus this incredibly popular sellout bag from Emma Aldenwood Craft. Yeah, so pop down below, click the like button on your way. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I would love to know, just to know if I'm doing all right, you know. Maybe give me a little heart emoji in the comments and click like. And if you want to help, I feel like it's almost a bit of an end of an era with these raffles. If you want to help Bill's school, then get your ticket. It's £1 a ticket, and this is open worldwide. I will post worldwide. And when I say that, I secretly hope that somebody local wins it so that I can just go and deliver it rather than have to worry about it getting lost or damaged in the post. It's not happened yet. Open worldwide. I'll literally send it to Timbuktu. Send it to the moon. I'm going to miss this bag. I like having this little sheep staring at me. He's been sat there since November. Right, that really is me done. That is far too long. I'm sorry I've gone on. But I hope you'll come back. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. What's going on tomorrow? Supposed to have pottery tomorrow, but my friend and teacher has got COVID. I've also got Bill off school today with a headache, but I think he's skiving. He should be back into school tomorrow. My other friend, Julie, I've got more than one friend, but Julie is an amateur potter. She's got a little workshop, kiln, wheel, what have you. She's invited me to go over to her house to do a little bit of potting. So I might do that. It depends how I get on with all my chores. Okay. Thank you ever so much, guys. See you soon. It's me again. You won't believe it. I fixed it. My tiny mind is blown. So I squeezed it really hard with these plier thingies to make sure that the wires were all in. Then I can't even feel where the join is. Then I got this, which is an embossing tool that I've had 20 years. And I turned it on till it was hot. Where is it? Hang on. Oh, look at all that mess there. Then I heated it up so the plastic melted and smoothed it with fingers, spitty fingers. Yeah, honestly, I know. And now, I can't show you. Hang on, again. So high tech. And now, though I can feel it with my fingers, it's, look, that's where the doodah is. I don't suppose it's going to last very long at all, but look, not catching. Well, I'm very pleased with myself. And it's not because I'm tight-fisted, it's just that I don't want to throw away plastic if I can help it. If I can make do and mend, there's this lovely phrase. How does it go? Make it do or do without. I remembered it the other day. It's my friend's grandmother used to say it. Use it up or wear it out. Make it do or do without. Isn't that good? Well, there we go. I've made it do. Bye. Happy days we are guests.